Hello everyone, thank you so much for listening to this informative speech about breastfeeding. Before we begin, I'd like to let you know that the information gathered here is from La Liché Ligue International, Breastfeeding A through Z, and Credo Reference, Encyclopedia of Motherhood. What is breastfeeding and why should we care about it? We should care about breastfeeding because it affects everyone by affecting both mom and baby emotionally, physically, and psychologically. Breast milk is a naturally made, nutritionally sufficient food for babies, aiding them in physical growth, brain development, and even immunity. It is 100% nutritionally satisfactory for babies 0 to 6 months, but it can have effects on toddlers and children as well. Breast milk starts off as colostrum at birth, changing into transitional milk from day 5 through 14, and then after day 14, it will continue to be produced as mature milk. Breast milk changes both in content and in volume depending on the baby's growth rate and gender. The mom can detect the baby's gender by different surges of either estrogen in female children or testosterone in male children during pregnancy. Breast milk is produced within the mammary glands of the breast tissue during the last portion of the third trimester. As baby suckles on mom, the hormone oxytocin is released, which induces bonding behaviors between them both, but also induces contractions around the mammary glands, squeezing the milk into milk ducts so the baby can drink it. Oxytocin also induces contractions in the uterus, which can help mom to expel the afterbirth, or in the case of a multiple pregnancy, can help mom to deliver the baby's siblings as well. Since oxytocin is released during skin-to-skin contact, dad can be a part of this bonding behavior too. Breast milk also contains other hormones such as melatonin, which can help the baby to produce REM cycles, and serotonin and dopamine, which can help the baby in the emotional state. Breastfeeding allows for continued communication between mom and baby. As baby breastfeeds, some of the saliva is backwashed into the breast tissue. If the baby is ill, the mother's body can detect this, and in response will produce antibodies specifically made for the harmful pathogen that her body detected. This aids in the baby's immune system, and could possibly even attack cancerous cells such as leukemia later on in life. Breastfeeding can also reduce other illnesses in children, such as food allergies, asthma, ear, and even respiratory infections. Breast milk also contributes to the baby's intestinal health by producing and ejecting healthy bacteria into the breast milk that act as probiotics. This can reduce the baby's risk of developing colic and possibly even childhood obesity. As most of us have probably heard, breast milk has been attributed to a baby's higher IQ because of the milk's contents elevating the brain's development. But more importantly, breast milk can lower the risk of SIDS up to 50% because it advances the part of the brain, the medulla oblongata, which is responsible for keeping us breathing and our hearts beating even when we're asleep or unconscious. There is also a strong correlation between the amount of time that mom breastfeeds and her reduced risk of breast cancer and osteoporosis due to the fact that breastfeeding reduces the hormone estrogen in mothers, allowing for a reduced risk of abnormal cell growth in her breast and bone remodeling later on after breastfeeding is over. This lowered estrogen level also acts as a natural birth control up to 98% for a certain duration of time during breastfeeding, working in conjunction with her lowered sexual desire. Because of all these changes in both mom's body and in baby's body, diet and exercise are extremely important for both of them. Babies will eat hundreds of mom's calories a day, which allows them to have exponential growth, but also allows for mom to shed off those extra pounds that she gained during pregnancy. Because baby eats whatever mom eats, this expanded diet can help them to be less picky eaters in the future. but also is why moms should be careful about what they're putting in their body, just like they did when they were pregnant. Again, all these different changes, and because Mom's Milk is specifically made just for her baby, can give her a sense of empowerment and really encourage a bonding behavior between her and her baby, or it could cause her to feel loss of autonomy. Breastfeeding can also lead to embarrassing times because even the slightest baby's cry can release milk letdown. And in the case of an odd suckling position, breastfeeding can be very painful. Other complications can arise too, like mastitis, which is an infection in the breast caused by a clogged milk duct, or engorgement, which is an overfill of the breast tissue itself, both of which can also be very painful. This is why it's important to look at all aspects of breastfeeding and different methods, such as hand expression, or by pumping, or even supplementing with formula. If mom chooses to hand express or pump, she can actually store that milk in the freezer for a later date, and then deliver it through a bottle to baby instead. So in summary, breastfeeding affects baby physically, emotionally, and psychologically. Breastfeeding also affects mom physically, emotionally, and psychologically. Breastfeeding starts to have effects on both of them during infancy, but it can have longer lasting effects into toddlerhood as well. And we should care about all these things about breastfeeding because babies and moms that are breastfeeding affect all of society by affecting them both physically, emotionally, and psychologically. And here are the references for where I've gathered this information. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much.